Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Tisi. I'm the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions. I'm thrilled that you're here. Welcome. For the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to have a presentation and talk to you about our Fleishman Center for Career and Professional Development. We have a lot to talk to you about. We're going to present to you formal presentation. We're going to open it up toward the end and have some students here. They're actually going to present to you, talk to you about what their story is, why they are involved with the Fleishman Career Center and what that means to them. We're going to open up to questions, and hopefully we can have all your questions answered. We're thrilled that you're with us this afternoon. So let me go around to Danielle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle. I am currently a senior. I'm studying human development with a minor in education. I am one of the supervisors of our tour guide program with admissions, and I am here to answer questions with the chat function. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in today.
Hi, my name is Nicholas. I've been working at the Fleishman Center for about 2 years right now as a senior peer consultant, and this entails helping students with their resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, etc. And just overall, I think that the Fleishman Center is a great resource for students to use right when they start college.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fumbi Adejola. I'm a senior psychology major at Binghamton University. Like Nick, I work at the Fleishman Center as well. This will be my 3rd year, and I'm a senior peer consultant, and I'll be here to answer any Fleishman questions you have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Ma. I'm the New York City admissions counselor for Binghamton University. So sometime in the fall when I am making visits, if you do see me, please come say hello. And I'll be supporting the chat support and question and answers in the background.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Christ, and I'm the Senior Associate Director in the Fleishman Center for Career and Professional Development, and I will be leading you through a little presentation of our services and resources for students during our time together today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I just wanted to say welcome and thank you for being here. And a big shout out, congratulations to those students that have joined us that are admitted to Binghamton. That's a pretty big deal. Goodness, we looked at this application pool and over 35,000 applications for 2,900 or so freshman spots. This has been one of our most competitive selective years at Binghamton, so congratulations, that's a big deal. You know where you've been admitted to. This is the premier public university in the Northeast, right? We're considered to be a public Ivy. As a matter of fact, public is amazing. Public means it's about affordability, accessibility, graduate in time, and if you look at some of the accolades at Binghamton, it's pretty impressive. So I'm thrilled that you can join us. So much that I could tell you about Binghamton. The numbers, as you know, those that were admitted, it was pretty tough to get in. We looked at SAT scores and GPAs, but beyond that, I look at things like retention rate. Our students that are here are just so impressed. They love our community. Binghamton University has a 92% retention rate. I love that number. That's my favorite number. It means students are happy, right? They feel safe. They're part of a community. They're getting all the support they need. They're getting the academic support they need. Where do I go if I have homework questions? Where do I go for academic assistance? So that's all part of our retention. We want to make sure you're happy and that you're successful, that you graduate on time. One of the big points to Binghamton is that Binghamton is ranked as one of the top values in the country. That's pretty cool. When I say value, it doesn't mean there's cheap. There's nothing cheap about college, but quality and cost together equal value. And Binghamton is ranked as one of the very top values. Students leaving with very little debt, but all sorts of opportunities in front of them. If I look at this university as a whole, and you think about how we have to offer, academically, we are so strong. The hallmark of who we are is about academic excellence and research, right? Academically, you can study at Binghamton a broad, vast amount of majors, over 100 majors and minors and concentrations. And if you want to study, political science or philosophy or the arts, engineering or finance and business, accounting, the humanities, human development, social work, nursing, you would be a nurse. You're going to be a pharmacist. You can do that at Binghamton. There's so much here. So we're thrilled that you are interested in learning more about us. I think when I think about Binghamton, I look at students who graduate with very little debt, with lots of opportunities. I look at Binghamton students as being brilliant. And part of that means we prepare you very well for outcomes. We call it experiential learning. That experiences are a big deal. I mentioned research. Last summer, Binghamton was ranked as an R1 top tier research institution. That's world-class rankings. That's amazing. That's an international status. And that has a lot to do with experiences. And part of what we're here today is it's almost co-curricular, that academically we're so strong and you get the support that you need. But, where do I go if I need help with my resume? What do internships mean? And how do I get those experiences, not just academically? Of course I'll have that. I'm at Binghamton. But where do I go if I need help with trying to find a really good job shadowing, right? Or an alum that might support me to give me some advice on how I might mentor and become a better candidate when I graduate. Outcomes are a big part of the university. There's a culture, there's a community, and there's how we prepare you for next steps. So that's a pretty big deal. Why Binghamton? It's because of the faculty. Why Binghamton? The students are incredibly prepared. I think you'll hear some of the student stories today when they're chatting with you and answering your questions.
Okay, so I'm a senior studying industrial and systems engineering, and my story is basically, I'm originally from Livingston, New Jersey, so I'm not your typical student that comes from Long Island or New York City. We see that a lot of students are from there, a majority of them are. And outside of class, I'm a member of the ballroom dance team, where I get to compete with other students across the East Coast at colleges such as MIT, Princeton, University of Maryland. I also played club sports such as rowing and tennis for a few semesters. And additionally, I joined a professional fraternity my sophomore year. And so while Binghamton isn't really known as a town that's like bustling with many outlets for entertainment, there's no doubt that you'll find a lot of joy in several of the hundreds of clubs that Binghamton University has to offer. And so in terms of my involvement at the Fleishman Center, I've used almost everything they have to offer, from mock interviews to attending employer info sessions, going to professional development workshops, etc. And I definitely recommend coming to the Fleishman Center as a freshman, because we will give you all the resources that you need to start your professional career. And from my personal experience, the job market is only getting more difficult, so it's better to start getting those skills as early as possible. And I'm personally very thankful for the Fleishman Center for helping me obtain my 2 summer internships as well as my full-time job after graduation.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I don't think it could start any better than that, than hearing from a student about their experience. So the Fleishman Center for Career and Professional Development is the career services office at Binghamton University that serves all students across all majors and disciplines, both graduate and undergraduate students. We were recognized just 3 years ago as an exemplary career center by the National Career Development Association. So we're really touched by that honor, and it speaks to the high level of work that we do to serve our students, as well as the various and vast amount of resources and programs that we offer to make sure that Binghamton University students are top candidates and are ready for their job and internship search when that time comes. And we also spend a lot of time talking to students about all of the other ways they can enhance their skills and their resumes throughout their college career, and Nicholas talked about a few of those. Working on campus is definitely really important, as well as getting involved in clubs and organizations, and students have a lot to choose from. So some of the things that we do in the Fleishman Center really are assisting students with their career and professional development needs across 4 years or more of school. And so one of the first things students come to us about will be exploring major and career options. So a lot of students will come in, and I'm sure many of you listening today have a major in mind or a career path in mind. And if you don't, that's okay too. So we work with students both who are decided on a major and thinking about, okay, I have this major, I'm passionate about it, but what can I do with that major? And so we'll guide students through a career exploration process to help connect them to all of the different opportunities that they can pursue after Binghamton. And then we also help students who are really unsure about major. I think students feel a lot of pressure sometimes to just pick something so they can be done with that decision and move on to the next thing, but there really is a process of things and a lot of different activities students can do to get some clarity about their major decision. So they can meet with our career consultants to go through that process. We also have a lot of really great kind of structured programs students can participate in, like our Explore series that students can apply to take part in the fall and spring as first years as well as transfer students, where they can go through the exploration process, including connecting with alumni and learning about clubs and organizations and gaining skills, getting their resume ready, so that they feel more confident in making that major and career choice. So we definitely work with those students on that. So no worries if you're not sure, you don't need to know now what you want to do yet. Your time at Binghamton will definitely inform your choices. We also help connect students to opportunities to gain experience that's relevant to their career decision. So a lot of times internships absolutely come to mind with that, and a lot of our students do internships. There's also externships, so shorter opportunities for students to get engaged with different employers. Volunteering and shadowing are great ways for students to gain relevant experience. So we help connect our students to those opportunities, as well as work with employers to come to Binghamton and recruit our students. And the top companies recruit at Binghamton, and we're out there trying to make those connections for our students. We also prepare students for the job and internship search. So a lot of times when students think about a career center, they do think about resumes, and we absolutely do that. And both Nick and Fumbi can talk about that as well. They've seen their share of resumes during their time working in the Fleishman Center. So they will work with students to edit their resumes, help them think about, are you really articulating the skills? And then we also work with students on cover letters, getting their interviewing skills up to where they want them to be, gaining confidence in interviewing through mock interviews and a lot of online resources that we have. So, and also connecting students to the right place to be looking for those jobs and internships. And then we also help with students applying to graduate or professional school. You'll see later that a lot of Binghamton students do choose to go on to graduate or professional school after graduation. We have a lot of really smart, highly motivated students on this campus. And so we'll help them plan that process out, but also help them work on different parts of the application, like writing their personal statement. And then we do partner with the career offices located in some of our professional schools. So we work very closely with School of Management Career Services, as well as Watson's Career Services Office, NCCPA, to collaborate on events and programs that serve all of Binghamton students. So I talked a little bit about some of the topics that we help students with. We also have career consulting. So we offer walk-in appointments Monday through Friday from 11 to 4 in the Fleishman Center. Those are 20-minute sessions. So that's often students' first experience with the Fleishman Center. They'll come in with a resume and have that first conversation. And then that will lead to conversations about other topics as well. And then we also offer 30-minute appointments with career consultants. So those are things students can schedule online to meet with a consultant about any of the topics I just talked about, or just career uncertainty in general. Average on each year, we're doing over 7,000 one-on-one sessions with students. And then we also have career consultants whose offices are located right in the residential community. So students often don't even have to leave their dorm. They don't even have to change out of sweatpants to come and talk to a career consultant. We have offices right in the residential communities, and they're often a first point of contact for students. And then we offer a lot of programs and workshops. So we offer some workshops on a fairly regular basis on career exploration and resumes, LinkedIn, networking, how to just search for a job and internship. We also do LinkedIn photo booths where students can come and get a professional headshot taken. We do one of those at least every month. And then we also do some networking events where we're bringing employers and alumni to campus. We have a financial wellness program, so we work very closely with a local credit union to have a financial wellness educator who's on campus on a weekly basis to meet one-on-one with students, and then also hosting programs and workshops so students can get ahead of managing finances, understanding student debt, things like that throughout the year. So a lot happening in the Fleishman Center for sure. We also have a new program that we're doing in the Fleishman Center where we're encouraging students to get more connected to the career areas that they're interested in. So we call them career clusters. Students can go on to our careertools.binghamton.edu website, and they can select which clusters they're interested in learning about throughout their time at Binghamton. And they can change them at any time. So you can log in and say, okay, I want to learn about arts and communication, or I want to learn about government policy and law opportunities. And then each week they get information sent to them about the most recent jobs and internships, events that are happening on campus, current news in that field. So it's a way to get engaged and connected to the career fields that you're interested in. And students can also just go on that website and explore the information for each different career cluster, especially if they're not sure. And then we do have an exploring career cluster, and that's specifically for students who want to be exposed to a lot of different career opportunities and engage in programming and events that are tailored to students who are undecided. So that's a new thing at Binghamton that we're really excited about, connecting students to opportunities that way. And then we also have a lot of opportunities, as I mentioned already, for ways for students to engage in kind of experiential education. So we do manage the university's largest credit-bearing internship program, our Fleishman internship program, known to students as CDCI. We have over 800 students that earn academic credit for an internship through this program. So what happens is students find an internship that they would like to earn credit for. They contact our office, and as part of earning that credit for the internship and the number of hours that they do, they also take a professional development course along with that, where they are reflecting on that internship. They're thinking about the skills that they're gaining through that internship experience, and they really leave that internship then more confident in what they've learned and able to talk about this opportunity in future interviews. And when they're writing about it on their resume, they're better able to communicate what they got out of that experience. So it's a really great program and way for students to earn credit. We also offer internship funding for students, both in paid and unpaid internships, but very much focused on unpaid internships. So students can apply to the Student Affairs Internship Fund and request funding to support an internship opportunity that maybe they wouldn't be able to participate in without that additional financial support. And we award funding each spring to students to support summer internships. We also offer students a large job and internship portal, where this is where employers who want to recruit our students will post opportunities. It's called hireBING by Handshake. So there are annually about 40,000 job and internship opportunities offered in there, with about 12,000 employers recruiting through that portal. So students can log into hireBING and they can look through jobs and internships by location, by major, by keywords, by what their interests are, and find opportunities all over the country that way. This is also where employers will post opportunities that they're going to be interviewing for on campus, which is a great resource to know about. It's also where students can go and view who's going to be at the job fair. It's where they can sign up for appointments to meet with career consultants. This is also where all on-campus student jobs are posted. So that's a really great one to know about for incoming students. If you're thinking you'd like to find a job opportunity on campus, hireBING is where you can look for those opportunities. And it's also where you can apply to participate in some of our signature programs, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And here we are. So signature programs and events. We have our job and internship fairs that we host every semester. So we have our large fall fair, where we have over 140 organizations coming to recruit our students, and we host that in the large event center on campus. And then in the spring, we host some more industry-specific fairs. So we'll have a STEM fair, and then we do more of an all majors, all career fields fair, and followed by then a student employment fair, where students can learn about student employment opportunities for the next year. So we have a lot of employers coming to campus each year to recruit students and network with them at those events. We also have a law day and a graduate school fair that happen in late September, early October. So graduate programs, again, from all over the country will come to Binghamton and share information about their programs with students. And a lot of medical schools will also participate in that day. And then we specifically have a day just for law. There's a lot of students interested in pursuing law as a field at Binghamton. And so, again, law schools from all over the country will come and talk to our students on that day. One of a really cool program that we've been hosting for the last couple of years is our Alumni Career Connections program. So we have a lot of successful alumni, some early in their career, some later in their career, and they will come to campus and talk to our students. So we host several of these a semester in collaboration with the Alumni Association to bring back alumni to talk to students over lunch about their career path and network with them and gain those networking contacts. And we usually try to target different career clusters throughout the year. So you'll see a variety of alumni coming back from different career fields, which is great. And then probably our most exciting program, at least for me, I love this program, is our Connect program. And so each throughout the year, we are hosting weeks, we call them Connect Weeks, where we are kind of taking our show on the road. And so in January, during winter break, we go to New York City. We're there for a week, And there are usually about 45 employer treks happening. So basically students can sign up and apply to visit companies in New York. So I got to take students to Google this January, which was exciting for them and also exciting for me. It was a really cool office space and a cool building to be in, and really neat to hear about different work environments and cultures. And we have a lot of alumni there. So it's an opportunity for students to see these different work environments and then also talk to the alumni about, how did you get this opportunity? What did you do when you were at Binghamton that you feel like set you up for success? So the Connect programs are fantastic. And then usually through each one, there will be a networking night with alumni who are in that location, and students will come to that as well. This year, we had over 100 alumni in New York City, and just shy of 400 students come and network with those alumni on Tuesday night in New York City in January. So it was a great event. And then we host similar programs in Washington, D.C. And then last year, we hosted our first program ever in Silicon Valley. So students flew out to Silicon Valley, and these programs are almost at no cost to the student, the Washington, D.C. and the Silicon Valley program, which is fantastic. So anyone can participate in them. So one of the questions I got a lot from parents and from students is, what skills are employers looking for and how can I gain those skills? Employers are definitely looking for candidates who have some specific skills to that industry, but also really strong the transferable skills. So communication, leadership skills, teamwork, being able to work with others. Communication is really key, both oral communication and written communication. And beyond internships, there are a lot of different ways that students can gain these skills that employers are looking for. And one of the cool things I think about when you think about what skills employers are looking for, they're not particular to a certain major. They're really particular to your experience and what you do through your time at Binghamton to build those skills. So some ways that students gain those skills are to study abroad, to participate in civic engagement, so service learning opportunities throughout the Binghamton community and on campus are available for students. Many students pursue international internships. A lot of students take on leadership with professional development organizations as well as other student organizations, so that's a great way to build those leadership skills and communication skills. Campus involvement in general, so beyond just being in a leadership role, especially for a first-year student or a sophomore, just get involved. Join a student organization, join a couple of student organizations, see what's a good fit for you, and start building that network so that by the time you're a junior or a senior, you can take on those leadership roles. Many students will participate in research throughout their 4 years at Binghamton, another great way to build those analytical skills and critical thinking skills that are important to employers. Some students will also participate in applied research or kind of capstone projects for their whole time. And then internships, both paid and unpaid. The other thing I would add to this too is campus employment. So our student employees have a great opportunity to build these skills through working right here on campus. And then they also get to work with a great Binghamton staff and faculty through those opportunities to develop those mentoring relationships that are also really important for students throughout their 4 years. So I would highly encourage any student thinking, what do I want my 4 years to look like, to think about a few of these things that they could access during their time at Binghamton. There's a lot of different resources we have for students. I'm going to touch on a few of them here. One thing we have is our Passport to Career Success. So this is a kind of a takeaway resource that breaks down students' time at Binghamton by year and what they might take part in during that time. And then many of the things I just referenced on the previous slide are what we call high impact opportunities. And Binghamton students engage in those opportunities. So as of the class of 19, about 85% of that class participated in either an internship, research, service learning, a capstone or honors thesis, and education abroad. Internships is the highest number, but there's lots of other ways to gain those high impact experiences. And why they're called high impact experiences is because they have an impact on student outcomes. So students who participate in these types of opportunities are more successful after graduation. So just a quick picture here of some student outcomes. So I mentioned earlier, a lot of our students pursue graduate or professional school. It's about 1 in 3 Binghamton graduates who goes on to pursue an advanced degree. And I've listed some of those top graduate and professional schools on the bottom there. We do a survey of our students 6 months after graduation, and 90% of graduates who were looking for further education were enrolled 6 months after graduation. So we're really proud of those numbers. Our students are really successful when it comes to applying what they've learned at Binghamton to their applications for graduate school. And then on kind of the job side of it, within 6 months after graduation, 70% of graduates seeking employment have secured a full-time job, and that's well above the national average for college graduates. So again, we're really proud of that. You can see the Binghamton University average starting salary is higher than the national average. Again, really proud of that. Our Binghamton students are motivated, smart, and hardworking, and it definitely pays off. And you can see some of the top employer destinations there for our graduates at the bottom as well. There's also a way you can go online to explore outcomes by major. So I've included that link here. I'm not gonna, there's a little video that'll show you how to look through this, but I'll just give you a brief kind of overview of it. So students can go onto our website and click outcomes, and it will take them to this outcomes data. So what we do is we look at the 3 most recent years of students, break that down by major. What are those students doing? So some students are working, and it will show you where they work, what their job title is, and it also gives you a breakdown of salary. So if you're thinking about different majors, a great resource to kind of explore and see what the outcomes are, especially in terms of where are they working and what are they doing if you're not sure what you're going to do with your political science major or what you're going to do with your biology major. So a great resource that students can access through our website. And I want to highlight a couple of our great career exploration programs for incoming students. So a newer program that we have, we did it for the first time this summer, and it was really fun. And Fumi can talk a little bit about it too. She was one of our mentors for that program. So we offer students a 3-day summer pre-arrival program. So students get to come back to campus early and get a head start on their career development. So through this program, they are interacting with alumni, employers, and faculty. They do treks to some of our great local employers to learn about those organizations, make connections, learn about what kind of skills they need to build in order to be successful after graduation. They start working on their resumes on day 1 so that by the time classes start, they're ready to apply for on-campus opportunities and jobs and leadership opportunities before classes even begin. And they also get to meet one another. Honestly, it's a great program for kind of building peer-to-peer connections as well, so students feel more confident and comfortable coming to campus. So that's one of our great programs, and I will provide in the chat after a link to a short video about that program so you can learn more directly from the students who participated. Another thing students can do online before the semester begins is take part in one of our online career exploration classes. So we have a class. The code is CDCI 200. It's a 2-credit online course led by career consultants from the Fleishman Center. I still teach it every summer. It's a great class where students can create a meaningful plan for their kind of major and career decision making throughout college. So incoming first-year students can take it in the summer session. It kind of guides them again through that career exploration process, gets them thinking about their skills and their interests. They do some informational interviews, so they reach out to some people in fields that they're interested in. That's a great way to kind of get on that process if you're feeling a little uncertain about what you want to do. You know Binghamton's right for you, you're really excited to be there, and now you got to think about what am I going to do during those 4 years. So it's a great class to take part in for that purpose. So this is the video. I'm gonna put this link to the webpage right into the chat after so that you can view that on your own. I just want to be mindful of time. And this is a student testimonial for a student who took CDCI 200. So I'll read it briefly. I took the CDCI 200 Bridging Academics to Careers course during my winter break. I went in feeling lost and uncertain for my future. By the end of the class, I felt more aware of my options and confident in my abilities to seek them out. The project where I had to interview 2 career professionals led me to pursue a shadowing experience at my old high school, which helped me realize that I want to study education. I'm grateful to the program for helping me navigate potential career and major interests. So the goal in that class is really to help students build the skills they need and understand how to kind of keep going about this process through their 4 years at Binghamton. So before I have Fumbi talk a little bit more about herself and her experience, we are here and happy to help. Feel free to send an email to careers@binghamton.edu if you have any questions, or go ahead on our website. I also encourage you to follow us on Instagram. We're pretty active and fun on Instagram, so check that out as well. And then we also have an active Facebook page too. So Fumbi, do you want to share a little bit about yourself while I unshare my screen here?
Yes. So hi, everyone. My name is Fumbi Adejoa. As I mentioned before, I'm a student staff at the Fleishman Center. I also was a past orientation advisor. I was also in the freshman research immersion program on campus. I also work in an undergraduate research lab where we look at the effects of maternal care in rats. So if you have any questions about research on campus, I'm happy to help with that. I have used the Fleishman Center extensively even before I started working there. And as Nick said, it's helped me a lot in terms of just interviewing skills, which is something a lot of us struggle with as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and nice to meet you all.
That's great. Thank you very much. That was an awesome presentation. Thank you, Erica. So again, we're here for your questions. And I think to me, I look at what the career I've been doing this for a while, and I watch students come in, not quite sure what they want to do, but get the support they need to really make just good decisions. And I think that's the critical piece to the Fleishman Center. Is you work with counselors and they support you. And I work with tour guides and student ambassadors and so many students that we just depend upon in our admissions office. We couldn't do it without the student voices and the student support. We just couldn't. We wouldn't have the same university if we didn't have the student support. So students are employed, in the simplest things like, catering, right? Do we need catering support? Students will do that, or tour guides or something bigger, you can imagine. But the point is, once you're here, you'll work with brilliant people and get the support you. Again, it's all about the experiences. So we are student driven. All right, I don't see any questions up there, but I bet you all have a lot of questions. So why don't you chime right in?
Sure. Can I ask a question for Erica? A student asked, how does the Fleishman Center help with a geochemistry career when Binghamton only offers that as a minor?
Was it geochemistry?
Yep, geochemistry.
So, yeah, sure. So like I said, we work with students in all majors. So if you were interested in finding about internship opportunities or job opportunities, I would absolutely come in and talk to a career consultant. We will connect you with resources relevant to that field in particular, and then help you find alumni that you can talk to and employers that you can talk to relevant to that field. So a lot of times it's helping a student find the right resources for a particular field, as well as connecting to previous Binghamton students who have worked in that industry, and so we'll be more than happy to do that. I should also mention that we have a brand new resource that we just launched this March, actually, called Mentor Match. So this is a new platform where Binghamton students can go in and create a profile about their interests, and alumni can go in and create a profile about their interests, including the career clusters that they're connected to. And students can reach out to any alumni that they're interested in to have conversations with. So this is something new that we're really excited about. And I think that would probably be another thing that you would want to take advantage of as a student.
Question that came in through, her name is Ariel. So thanks for sending that along. And she said, what kind of support do you give students applying to medical schools and PhD schools and programs? And, that really speaks to Binghamton as a university, right, in the bigger sense that we have graduate schools here. It's not just, undergraduate, but graduate, PhD, you can go on for your PhD. But in the medical schools, but we have a top program here. Again, leaving Binghamton as an undergraduate with very little debt is a big deal. And Erica showed you those kind of numbers that the average student going into the employment world, $60,000, it's pretty good, little debt and opportunity, right? But if you want to go on to a professional school, it'd be law school or med school, boy, you don't want to go in with a lot of debt, right? That's probably going to be expensive at the med school level. But guess what? We have an amazing career staff here. My mind goes to Dr. Langhorn, who's been with us for 30 plus years, and he knows all of the schools and the universities and the med schools. He works closely with the students, and I think that's the key to understand that, when you look at the big picture of Binghamton, it's about right fit and make sure Binghamton is the right fit for you, but more importantly, it's about relationships. That pre-med program, that pre-med track is outstanding. It's one of the very best. So, that track going into the med schools, you'll have all the support that you need from there.
And I don't know, Fumbi, if you want to talk about your internship with UHS. So one of the internship students can participate in as part of the internship program through the Fleishman Center for Credit is an internship collaboration with UHS, which is our local hospital system in Binghamton. So students can do a 4-credit internship where they're working in different areas of the hospital. So I teach one of the classes this spring, and I had a student in physical therapy and a student in the emergency room. And that's really unique, honestly. To get that kind of firsthand medical experience can be really difficult to find because of regulations and things like that. And Fumbi was one of the participants in that program. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, Fumbi, too.
Yeah, for sure. You can intern in a variety of departments, as Erica said. So we have physical therapy, we have dental, we have maternal and child health. I was in the ICU, which I learned so much. It was a semester-long internship, about 120 hours over the course of the semester. You get to network with healthcare professionals and just kind of get a feel of like what it actually is like to be in a hospital and like the way things operate. It's offered in fall, spring, summer, and winter. And you also take a additional 1-hour class through the CDCI program. And it's just an additional class that kind of helps you develop your like professional skills and like work on things like your resume. I always say it's a good like idea to have like a resume on standby because you never know when an opportunity will come along.
Absolutely. Very cool. I've got another question that just came in from Nicole. And she says, what kind of resources does the Career Center have for students committed to a pre-law undergraduate career, specifically in terms of experiences, personal experiences?
Sure. So if you're thinking about internship experiences, for sure, we have many students participating in internships with different law organizations and the word is escaping me at this moment. What is the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. So we have students doing internships right now with the DA office, with the city, with different legal organizations, lawyers throughout even the Binghamton area, and then students do summer internships as well. Again, as part of that internship program that we manage, students can get credit for internships with different firms, law firms. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I couldn't find that word. With different law firms, and those are great opportunities to gain experience. And students are not doing filing, and I can tell you that for a fact. They are writing briefs, they are doing pro bono work, they are really doing the work of a lawyer through those experiences. So we are more than happy to work with students who have an interest in law to get those experiences, because obviously they're really important to helping you determine, is law school right for you? What is this work actually like for somebody in this field? And also making those networking connections, which is super important. So building the network and getting to know somebody who's in the law field really well, so you can ask them those questions and really get all of your questions answered. And then also Binghamton does have a pre-law advisor. So a lot of law students will meet with that pre-law advisor to make sure that they're kind of on the right track for the application process.
I can tell you a real quick story. My son, Vincent, is a senior there now at Binghamton. Actually, it's politics, philosophy, and law. He's on the pre-law track. So his internship was that he had to work a semester at the Broome County Clerk's Office. And I thought, well, that's clerk's office. I mean, what are you going to, he said, no. He came back and said, I loved it, just loved it. He had the opportunity to not only meet with professional lawyers and staff and the DA and such and work with them, but also go back into the archives and find some real valuable information to help them set up for their presentations and some of the lawsuits and such. But learned a lot, learned about the elemental pieces to our government, right? Just clerically organizing and where it begins and how we start. So this is no experience when we talk about experiential learning, to watch him go from, and I watch many students could do this, go from saying, I'm not quite sure what this is all about, but at the end of it go, but that was pretty incredible. And then to be able to put that on a resume. So when you graduate, those conversations you would have with your prospective employers, well, those are powerful conversations to have. So I've got another one here. And this one is from Annalise. For engineering students, if you wanted to do an internship, would you have to take a break off for a semester, or would you be able to fit that right into your schedule? Would it inform you to make you graduate later? Would you graduate on time? So that's from Annalise.
I can answer that question. So
Perfect.
a lot of our internships are usually during the summer for engineers, but there's also companies such as Eden and the Raymond Corporation, which is a forklift manufacturer that's close to Binghamton, and they do co-ops where you can work during the semester while completing your classes as well as doing work for them. Those are extremely hard and difficult because the workload is intense when you're doing schoolwork in addition to that, but I would definitely recommend it if you have the free time.
So here's a question from someone who's anonymous. That's okay, we'll take your questions. How can we join the online career exploration class? That's probably Erica.
Yeah, sure. So the easiest way to register is to contact CDCI at binghamton.edu. And I will put a link to that in the chat as well so you can all see it. And they will get you through the registration process. It's a little different than if you were already enrolled, an enrolled student. So pretty easy to do. And that class is usually taught in July. So it's online through the month of July. It's usually about a 5-week-long course. And it's a great opportunity to kind of get into the weeds of major and career exploration before the school even starts.
So this one came in, and this is again another anonymous. Came in a little late, but just, you know, Erica, this is a pretty good question. Really, do you have programs to help students identify and explore possible career options? I know you did talk about that, but there are so many opportunities, you know. Maybe you can just touch on some of the exciting highlights, you know, some things that maybe are really creative. I know, again, when we talk about experiential learning, there are some alumni that are doing some amazing work out there that just love to talk with our students, you know. So do you have any kind of stories you can share with us, Erica?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the best things that a student can do to explore, and like I mentioned, we have programs that are more structured. We have a program called Explore that we offer that's about 6 weeks long each semester, and students meet in kind of a small group throughout those 6 weeks to engage in activities that will help them figure out what they want to do. But I think one of the best things to do is really just to talk to people. And so with access to the 85,000 Binghamton alumni that are on LinkedIn alone, you can reach out to alumni. I've had a couple of students in particular who have been really successful with this just by being persistent and reaching out to alumni who are in fields that you think you might be interested in. And you don't need to think, it doesn't need to be I've wanted to be a teacher since I was 5 years old, or that you need to have a really clear picture. Just explore. And so reaching out to a few alumni and asking them about their career paths, it's something we call informational interviewing. You find somebody who's in a job that you think might be of interest to you, and you ask them questions about their career path. How do they know that that was the right career for them? What is the day-to-day like in that job? What things did they do in school that really helped prepare them for that career field? So it's kind of like turning the tables a little bit. You're interviewing that person, but it is a really great way to gain some of that information. And a lot of times what will happen for students is either a light bulb will go off of like, wow, I really want to learn more about this field. This conversation has really made me want to do that. Or it's the more I hear about it, I'm not quite so sure. Let me talk to somebody else and see what their experience is like. And you kind of collect that data to make a choice, right? Once you've kind of had a couple of those conversations, you might identify a couple of fields that you'd like to do some shadowing in. Shadowing is another great way to figure out if the field is right for you. So finding somebody, again, who's in a position, and maybe it's the person you did your informational interview with, and just asking if you could spend the day with them and see what their job is actually like. Again, this is also a great thing that you can do as a volunteer in some settings. So if you're thinking about the different opportunities in the healthcare field, I would highly encourage you to volunteer, because again, that's a great way to see firsthand what is this field going to be like? What would I have to do as a nurse? So doing some shadowing is great. And then later comes internships. A lot of times people think about their internship as like, this is the way I'll decide if this is right for me. And honestly, by the end of junior year, it's not too late. It's never too late to figure out what you want to do, but an internship is a big commitment a lot of times. It's your whole summer, right? Maybe 40 hours a week. So by the time you get to an internship, it's better to know like you've really narrowed it down. So do some shorter term things, do some shadowing, talk to people as a way to help you figure out what you want to do. And if a course is right for you, like the CDCI 200 career exploration course, that's great. That has nice structure to figure that out. If you want to do Kickstart and like learn with your peers, but getting involved on campus, engaging in leadership, talking to one another, talking to upperclassmen about their career options, what they're thinking of doing, oftentimes will just kind of open doors for you in terms of what you're even thinking about. And I think that one of the things I found as even a first generation college student, I didn't even know what career options were out there, honestly. You know about some of the big ones, right? I can be a doctor, I can be a lawyer, I can be a teacher. There are so many different fields out there to experience. So as you go through school, just talking to people help kind of broaden your mind to what the possibilities even are.
That's a really good point.
A long answer for a good question, though.
Good answer. Hey, Nick, here's one for you. You ready? Are there research opportunities for freshman engineering students? If so, do these students have the opportunity to work directly with research professors? What kind of role do they play?
Yes, so a lot of the engineering professors are here primarily for research, and they do teaching on the side. So there are a lot of research opportunities available. It's just a matter of you connecting with your professor and making it clear that you want to be a part of his research or her research. I personally haven't done research with an engineering professor, but I did research with an SOM professor using a resource called CROP, where professors from all different types of departments put out research that they need help with. And this could be anything from researching literature to gathering data outside the Binghamton community and compiling it into Excel, et cetera, like that. And I can put a link to CROP in the chat.
Very cool. Okay, here's one. How did the FRI program help you later in your undergrad years?
Oh boy, I think it was very good in terms of like time management, which doesn't seem like because of research, but it was a very demanding class in some instances, but it taught me a lot. And it also, so I did my AFR program I did was in anthropology, but I became a psychology major, and I was really interested in also doing neuroscience research. And so I used like the basic research skills and having experience in the lab that I learned in anthropology to get the position I did in my neuroscience lab. So it exposes you to research early. It kind of teaches you the basics of research and kind of like lets you explore research as a field you want to go into.
Yeah, that program's amazing. I watch students come in and just flourish, you know. It's a formal, one of only, 4 like it in the whole country. The only one like it in the Northeast. Students come in as freshmen formally and enroll in a 3-semester program working side by side by some of the very top researchers in the country. By the way, I want to throw this in. Did you know that Binghamton University had their first Nobel Prize winner? Wait for this, right? Dr. Stanley Whittingham, who was instrumental in inventing the lithium battery, the battery that's in your cell phones. That's pretty cool. He's got a lab here on campus, and students work side by side and know him. You know, he's just a regular guy, Nobel Prize winner, chemistry. You know, so again, when I talk about what makes Binghamton special, of course it's career opportunities, but faculty that are just doing amazing. And by the way, the faculty aren't here just to do, some schools will have research faculty, and then they'll have, faculty that teach. That's not the case here at Binghamton. That we have 50% of the time our faculty will be doing research, and 50% of the time they're actually teaching. They're in the classroom, hand-on, hand-learning experiences and doing research with our students. So that makes us pretty special. And that freshman research program, boy, you talk about freshmen, not graduate students, freshmen coming right in and doing work at a high level. That's pretty cool. Would you recommend the 3-arrival program for transfers? Transfer students. What do you think?
It could definitely be a good option for transfers as well. It's a great way to learn about the resources at Binghamton. I would definitely say shoot me an email if you're interested in learning more about it as a transfer, and I can share with you what we covered in the previous year so you can make sure that it's not information you don't already have because you're transferring from another institution.
Yeah. By the way, 30% of our students here, 1 in 3, are transfer students. So, we work with a lot of freshmen. Of course, it's first-year students. Of course, it's critically important. But, sometimes, by the way, how many students here are undecided? I'm just not even quite sure what my major is going to be. Again, when I look at applications, as much as 30% of those students admitted say, I have no idea what I want to do. I'm 18 years old. Why are you even asking me that question? It's almost not fair in a way. So you just have to get to a place that's the right fit for you. And you got to have those experiences that are going to be successful to help you to reach your goals. By the way, undecided, you're not undecided very long at Binghamton. You have till the end of your sophomore year formally to declare your major, right? But once you're here, you'll work side by side with some of the most amazing people. And I love those light bulb moments. You get them. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I want to do. So that's part of it. 30% of our students are transferred. They would have started somewhere else, but that they came in later and said, you know what, there is a pathway to Binghamton. Binghamton has the support that I need to be successful. So they said, how do you accommodate students whose interest spans across disciplines taught in different schools like Harper and Watson? So for example, and I get this, that regardless of what school you're admitted to, going to be this core of general education coursework that's going to be important to you, right? We were founded as a liberal arts university all those years ago. So we know that, you know, English and math and, you know, the elemental things, written expression, public speaking is kind of a core of who you should be. So regardless if you're going to be an engineering student or you name it, you're still going to have to take this core of general education coursework. So the liberal arts, and when you talk about liberal arts, it's learning how to learn, right? So, for example, you're going to be, I don't know, Nick, what kind of engineering are you studying? What kind of engineering?
Industrial and systems.
Industrial systems. All right, perfect. So at some point, you're going to have to get up and present your projects as an engineering student. That's important. So we want to make sure you've taken creative writing and the ability to express yourself with public speaking. So that core of learning how to learn is essentially who you're going to be. Of course, you know, that travels across all disciplines regardless. Now, having said that, I'll stay with engineering students. Many students will stay. They'll say, listen, Binghamton is amazing. You know, I want to stay and get my graduate work done. I want to go to grad school at Binghamton. And some students may say, listen, I'm an engineering student, but I want to get my MBA. You know, how cool is that? You know, business combined with engineering. There's so many opportunities at Binghamton. I'm really proud of the school. I'm an alum. You know, I was here back in the 80s, you know, when we were back then, they were called the Colonials. So for me to see where we were as a school all those years ago and to see where we're going, the opportunities, again, it's just an amazing place to be. So, folks, I have no more questions. How about that? I think we answered them all. But here's what I want to tell you, that if you should have any questions from here, I know that the Fleishman Center would email you and be able to communicate with you. Erica, do you want to give that email again?
careers@binghamton.edu.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We're glad that you were interested in Binghamton. We are interested in you. And if any more questions, feel free to contact Erica at the Fleishman Center and we'll keep going. All right. Thanks again. Bye now.
Thank you.